You will cease to exist as legislators if I so decide, Rivers Governor Fubara warns members of State Assembly opposing him. Hello viewers and welcome to Info Gist TV. Governor Similaye Fubara stated that the members of the State Assembly opposing him will cease to exist as legislators if he so decides. He made the statement while addressing a delegation of political and traditional leaders from Bayelsa State who visited him at the government house in Port Harcourt, the state capital. The Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara criticized the attitude of members of Rivers State House of Assembly towards his administration, saying the members will cease to exist as legislators if he so decides. Fubara stated this while addressing a delegation of political and traditional leaders from Bayelsa State who visited him at the government house in Port Harcourt, the state capital. He said the lawmakers were existing based on his recognition predicated on the peace accord initiated by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The delegation, led by former governor of Bayelsa State and senator representing Bayelsa West Henry Siriaki Dixon, sought an end to the political crisis in Rivers State and an improved relationship between both states. Others on the delegation included the first military governor of Old River State, Alfred Spieth, who is the traditional ruler of Tuon Brass in Bayelsa State. Other traditional rulers, former commissioners, former state and National Assembly members, and PDP executives. Fubara told the delegation that he had been the one showing restraint since the crisis escalated in the state. He said despite wielding state powers which he could deploy to achieve his aim, he has continued to act as the big brother in the face of intimidation and unwarranted attacks. He said those group of men who claim that our assembly members are not assembly members, they are not existing, that he wanted to be on record, that he, the governor, has accepted that peace accord to give them a floating, that it is the truth. There was nothing in that peace accord that a constitutional issue could arise. In his words, it is a political solution to a problem, and I accepted it because there were people that were eating in my house. These were people I have helped pay their children's school fees when I wasn't even a governor. So what is the thing there? We might have our divisions, but in his words, he stated that I believe that one day we could also come together, but it has gotten to a time when I have to make a statement that they are not existing. Their existence is me allowing them to exist. If I do recognize them and if I de-recognize them, they are nowhere. I want you to see the sacrifice I have been making, which has allowed peace to reign in our state, Rivers State. Similarly, Fubara also revealed that he had always been present at any meeting that was called to resolve the crisis in the state, but after each meeting he was met with a new dimension of crisis from the opposing side. He further vowed to continue to be peaceful, acknowledging that power was transient. He acknowledged the role played by some political leaders, especially his predecessor and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike'S, in his emergence as governor, but said that such efforts would make him to worship a man. He also attributed his emergence as divine, saying God can use anyone, including one's enemy, to accomplish his purpose in a man's life. He also decried the use of police officers to intimidate his supporters, despite showing his restraint in the crisis. Governor Fubara also decried how some of the commissioners were sabotaging him. He said on an occasion the governor of Bayelsa State, Duoye Dire, was the person who briefed him about an important information that a commissioner was supposed to have informed him. You should recall that the demolition of a Bayelsa State governor property in Port Harcourt was not politically motivated, but provoked by the leadership failure of Bayelsa State, explaining that before leveling the property located at Akasa Street, Old Government Residential Area (GRA), alerted Bayelsa Governor Duoye Dire on the issues with the said property, and that Dire never kept his promise to take responsibility to avert the eventual demolition. When you have leadership failure, that is what you get. I've never seen a hostile government against River State like the Bayelsa government. When I was away, I read in the media the ranting of the Bayelsa State government through her Commissioner for Lands. Also in August 2021, we wrote to the Bayelsa government that with our urban renewal policy and the money we have spent, it would be unfair to us if we allow such property belonging to them to remain there without any, maybe a new development. I also spoke to my colleague, the governor of Bayelsa State, Dire, severally. I said, look, it is better you renovate, bring down or build a new thing for your state. I'm not claiming the property belongs to us, but we have a right to talk about development in our state. No state can determine the level of development that should occur in another state. This is Governor Similaye Fubara addressing issues that has arisen in Bayelsa State since he emerged. That has arisen in Bayelsa State since he emerged. That has arisen in Bayelsa State since he emerged. That has arisen in Bayelsa State since he emerged. That has arisen in Bayelsa State since he emerged. That has arisen in Bayelsa State since he emerged. That has arisen in Bayelsa State since he emerged. That has arisen in Bayelsa State since he emerged. That has arisen in Bayelsa State since he emerged. That has arisen